when the lineup is made, like I was told by other people that Booney would write his lineup and then the analytical team would write their lineup, and that they would come together and decide how the lineup for the day was going to be written. If they had comparables that they liked, like a certain guy in a certain spot that they agreed on, they stayed. But they would go back and forth, right?
So the batting order is committee. The batting, this is going to blow my glasses off my goddamn head. They get together and have a powwow with the analytics team to compare notes, and I'm sitting here going, why does a guy like Ben Rice hit a home run and then sit the next day? But then the analytics make no sense, because why is Anthony Volpe playing every single day? Is he just a sacrificial lamb of the computer and mathematics? Or is it Aaron Boone? So they got us so twisted and me so turned around that I don't know who to blame. Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. And the Twins are just what the doctor ordered in the Bronx. And Clint Frazier comes out with a bombshell podcast about Aaron Boone. Is it sour grapes or is this the real deal? We've got highlights. We got Aaron Boone's postgame press conference. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk for sports nuts.
What's going on, guys? And we got a big win in the Bronx tonight, and it feels good to always get a win. Will Warren is the story tonight, the first pitcher in a while to go 6+, and just like I said on last night's broadcast, the Yankees were 5 for 40 in their last 40 games of pitchers going 6+. And those pitchers were Will Warren, Schlittler, Rodon, and now Will Warren. So the young guys are showing up in big spots and giving the New York Yankees length and saving those arms in the bullpen. This kid who has taken the ball each time asked this year, the kid that wasn't even supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here.
You don't understand. I'm not supposed to be here.
He got brought up from AAA because Garrett Cole went down in the beginning of the season. And as all of my friends in the group chat know, I adopted Will Warren as my son this year when he did get brought up, because guess what? He's got all the stuff. He's got all the mental makeup, and he's got the disposition. You can tell the guy's a winner. He's got that Luke Weaver vibe about him, and tonight he had 7 Ks. He went 6 2/3, and he put together another solid performance for the New York Yankees. For a guy that was rushed ahead of schedule, he is performing, and he is paying dividends for the New York Yankees. Will Warren leads all rookie pitchers in strikeouts, and he leads the major leagues in strikes thrown. You can see from his stuff, you can see that pitchers, when they're young like this, need to learn how to close games out and need to learn how to round out their starts, because if you look at Will Warren and a lot of starters on the New York Yankees, they start to meander in the 5th inning and don't know how to finish guys off. But you saw his mentality tonight was a lot different. It was a lot more aggressive, a lot more of a bulldog mentality, and it was a lot more strikes inside on the hands, and that's what you got to see from a young rookie pitcher who knows that he's got the stuff. Just get that mentality going, and Will Warren could look like a Phil Hughes from 2009, because he reminds me a lot of the Bottle Rocket. And you guys remember Phil Hughes had that great outing his first time against Texas in Texas, went down with the Tommy John surgery, had a no-hitter through 8, and he hurt himself. But Will Warren reminds me a lot of Phil Hughes, and Phil Hughes was able to change his game and come out of the bullpen and help the New York Yankees win a World Series in middle relief. He was lights out that year, and I think Will Warren can be a better pitcher than Phil Hughes. But we got a bombshell, folks. And I didn't even know this was going down, but apparently Clint Frazier of Yankee allure back in the day with the fastest bat speed. I had to hear about that for 2 years from Brian Cashman. So apparently Clint Frazier has a new podcast out, and he is not wasting any time spilling the tea on the Yankees organization. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, this is a dude who hasn't been able to get his career correct since the Yankees let him go. So maybe the Yankees knew something. Maybe this is a little sour grapes. But you know what? There might be some semblance to what he's saying. Let's go to the Clint Frazier smoking guns bombshell on Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. We like to call this a New York Minute exclusive because I just copied and pasted off the internet.
Fire a lot of other people too, because Boone is just the mouthpiece for a lot of other things that are happening inside that organization. So if you want to see Boone gone, others have to go with him, because there is a lot of times that Boone has predetermined things that are going to happen in the game, right?
So that explains why Tim Hill wasn't seen in the World Series, and maybe that's why you didn't see Tim Hill until the third game of the Astros series, is because the nerds from MIT and Harvard are pushing the books on Aaron Boone, and the organization is pushing this shit analytics team that they have on Aaron Boone. Now, if you remember, and the Yankees like to sweep this one under the rug, but at the end of the World Series last year, they said, we're going to have an investigation into our analytics team. And everybody, myself included, Yankee fans, threw a parade in the Yankees' honor. And then they put out an article the next day saying that the investigation was going to be internal and done internally. So Brian Cashman investigated his own analytics team that he put together. So you knew that wasn't going to work out. So the Yankees, and this is why, this makes a lot of sense. This is why it feels like they're gaslighting us, the New York Yankees, is because we can't put our finger on what's wrong. Is it the locker room? Is it Boone? Why does he do this? Why does he do that? But that's why I blew up on the show the other night. Hey, Brian Cashman, have the balls to put the pinstripes on. Go sit in the dugout if you think you know what's the best for this franchise. And if you're such a baseball head, why don't you do it? But now, Brian Cashman hasn't had a losing season in 30 years. So be careful what you wish for. But I'm the same guy that wore a bag over his head at Fire Brian Cashman night. So I've been kind of beating this drum, but then he teases me. He does the Juan Soto pivot, and I'm like, oh. I am definitely a simp at times, and I am definitely gullible at times because Brian Cashman has me wrapped around his finger because I'm a captured audience.
When the lineup is made, I was told by other people that Booney would write his lineup, and then the analytical team would write their lineup, and that they would come together and decide how the lineup for the day was going to be written. If they had comparables that they liked, like a certain guy in a certain spot that they agreed on, they stayed. But they would go back and forth, right?
So the batting order is committee. The batting, this is going to blow my glasses off my goddamn head. They get together and have a powwow with the analytics team to compare notes. Why would Aaron Boone put himself in a situation like that when he could definitely go get another job with another team where he doesn't have Brian Cashman and his bald head up his ass constantly? That makes no sense. And I'm sitting here going, why does a guy like Ben Rice hit a home run and then sit the next day? But then the analytics make no sense, because why is Anthony Volpe playing every single day? Is he just a sacrificial lamb of the computer and mathematics? Or is it Aaron Boone? So they got us so twisted and me so turned around that I don't know who to blame. It's like that Spider-Man meme where all three of them are pointing at each other. And I'm pointing at you guys. Let me know in the comments section. Is it Boone or Cash?
Oh, with that being said, a guy like Booney can't be held responsible for every single decision, because if the lineup is predetermined, then you have to assume that if the seventh inning rolls around and X, Y, and Z is going to be hitting, then X, Y.
But Aaron Boone can be held accountable. That's where Clint Frazier's wrong, is because Aaron Boone can call pitches and strikes. He can call to the catcher what pitch he wants thrown. He has that power. He has power for hitting runs. He has a lot of power in game. And not to mention, the man's got his pockets full of $6 million a year. Why wouldn't Aaron Boone just say fuck off and just start doing what he wanted to do? Because if he continues to do this, he will be the scapegoat, he will get fired, and Brian Cashman will just send him adrift and make him the sacrificial lamb for all his wrongdoings. Of not getting a third baseman, letting Gleyber Torres walk out the door, and all the things that he didn't address. Letting Oswaldo Cabrera play third base was malfeasance because he should have been a bench player. Oswaldo Cabrera off the bench is great. He's not an everyday player. And when he got hurt, yes, it hurt the Yankees because of flexibility. But then you let IKF walk out the door. You let Gio Urshela walk out the door. And then you let Miguel Andujar walk out the door. And then you were trying to get him back during the trade deadline for pieces. So Brian Cashman likes to hide a lot of his warts in Aaron Boone, and that sounded really weird.
Not a good baseball play.
Record steering 6 innings. Is that his decision or?
That was his decision. Not a good baseball play.
Weird.
And Z is going to be the pitcher that's going to be throwing to them in certain scenarios, right? Like they like to get ahead of the game and think about scenarios before they happen. So in my mind,
So what happened during the World Series when said Oswaldo Cabrera was playing second base for the first time during the year? And I was like, what?
Hold on, so they pitch running for Gleyber Torres. Who are they going to play at second?
Cabrera.
Cabrera don't play second that often, bro. For a pinch runner, what the fuck are we doing?
2 and a ground ball right side under Oswaldo Cabrera. What?
Pitch running for Gleyber Torres. Who are they going to play at second?
That was a terrible idea, but that's analytics. So was that Boone or analytics?
when I see all the tweets saying fire Boone, I can't see many things changing if he's gone, because the next guy that comes in is probably going to be in the same scenario.
But you got to understand that fans want their pound of flesh. When we say fire Aaron Boone, it means fire Aaron Boone because I'm just tired of looking at his dumb face. But it's make a change. You know, like, let's go. Like, this needs to end. That's fire Boone. So it encompasses and it umbrellas a lot of emotions when us Yankee fans say fire Aaron Boone. Okay? But at the same point, be careful what you wish for with saying Brian Cashman's got to go and the whole system's got to go. Because Clint Frazier is not playing baseball anymore, and Brian Cashman has 30 consecutive seasons of winning seasons. I'm going to give you an analogy. You complain about your next-door neighbor that they're loud and that they're crazy and blah, blah, blah. Then somebody else moves in after them, and they're even worse. And now you're clamoring for the old neighbors who, in hindsight, weren't that bad. So I think that's what you're going to have from Brian Cashman and losing Brian Cashman if you were to let him go. First of all, he'd get picked up in a millisecond from any other franchise. Second of all, he is trying to get cute, but in a franchise that has to win every single season, and that's the thing that George put on him. But now George is dead. His son's running the company, and Brian Cashman runs roughshod. And if you ask me, gun to my head, he's looking at the 2026 season when you got a Spencer Jones and you got a Lombard Jr., and then you have a pitching rotation of Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Hill, Will Warren, Schlittler. That sounds like some wins. Then you got Bender. You have all the new guys that we got during the trade deadline under contract. Re-sign Luke Weaver and put Devin Williams on a Greyhound out of town. So there you go. Clint Frazier dropping some truth bombs. It could be some sour grapes. It also, I just wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about that analytics department and the investigation. The same guys are in the house. From the guys that either screwed up Clint Frazier, or I think his ego had a lot to do with it. And we'll start to see that start to pour out a little bit more now that he has a podcast. So we'll take this first story on its face value, but then we'll see how crazy he is just trying to get clicks, or if he's just this kind of guy that likes to make waves and starts talking about old franchises. But I do remember, I don't have the clip, him talking very speaking the praises and giving the flowers to Brian Cashman about how he's a G and he's straight up with everybody. So who knows? We will find out short enough when Aaron Boone loses his job or the Yankees go on a winning streak here. But let's go to the Aaron Boone post-game press conference right now. I always laugh because every press conference Aaron Boone gives after a win is like 10 minutes longer than a loss. He's always like, hey, you guys don't want to hang around, talk about the win anymore, huh? You guys, what? Anybody else got any more questions? When he loses, it's like he's got his car running outside, and somebody gave him 3 Valium before they started asking him questions. So here's Aaron Boone's post-game press conference. Wow.
Orders needing to work deeper into the game to get 6 2/3 out of Will in the way he did it.
Boone, you have to stop breathing into the microphone, or the tech who sets up the microphone needs to be fired immediately, along with Devin Williams. Every time you get up there, Jesus Christ. Hey, Aaron, can we have this question's for your nostrils? Are you okay?
It's just what made him so tough.
Filled up the strike zone. No walks. Let's start with that. But, you saw swing and miss with the heater. I thought the sweeper was good. He was on
124 and 44 against the Twins, including the postseason, since 2002. That's ridiculous. And that's just what the doctor ordered for the New York Yankees in this 8-game stretch. The Twins, St. Louis Cardinals, 2 against Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees need to win out and need to start making headway on this division ASAP.
on the attack. The couple times he did fall behind, he fell behind a couple times 3-0 and got right after it to end up getting those guys out. So big performance.
See, this is what makes me crazy. Everybody in the comments section, NEWYRKMIN on Instagram, Warren, 17 starts allowing 2 runs or fewer. This is his first year. He's looking at another Rookie of the Year pitching candidate on his hands, with Luis Heel winning it last year and Will Warren. So Clint Frazier, I got to give Brian Cashman some kudos on creating pitchers. I always heard about how he didn't develop guys. That catcher from the Marlins that we gave up in the Jazz deal ate our lunch, and all the arms that we give up. Look what Michael King is doing in the San Diego Padres. Imagine if we still had him.
You know, that's what it's supposed to look like right there. When you get deep into the game, you can set your guys up, and then the offense continuing to tack on there a little bit for some insurance was good.
It's the 4th straight start for him where he's pitched very well. What has been that common thread throughout those starts?
I think more strikes. You know, and again, he can live in the strike zone with his stuff, because both his fastballs really play, and then he can work off of that. And I thought, you know, the Sacramento start was probably his best, was really impressive, but this was right there, just as efficient as he was, getting after it. It's like, those guys can hit over there, and they come and swing the bats pretty well too. So, yeah, just really good performance.
What did you think of Ben Rice's night overall, from the way he called the game to the offense he provided?
Yeah, he's doing great. I feel like he's getting more and more comfortable.
Ben Rice heating up. Aaron Judge getting healthy, heating up. So I'd like to say this about Aaron Judge. If you think about this, every season leading into the playoffs, and the Yankees got to get there first, but let's just walk with me for a second. Let's say Aaron Judge, every year he's been cooking, and it seems like he runs out of gas towards the end of the year, or he's on a little bit of a cold streak before the playoffs because he puts up monumental numbers. So we know that baseball is all a momentum sport. Hitting, winning, pitching, all of it, right? So hear me out for a second. Let's get delusional. What if the Yankees haven't gotten hot all season? What if Aaron Judge gets hot at the end of the season instead of shooting all of his bullets during the regular season? What if this pitching rotation gets calibrated and starts pitching 6 innings? And what if this bullpen starts molding together with the new guys and they start stacking together wins? These next 7 games are crucial. The Yankee season will be hinging on the Boston Red Sox series this weekend. Next weekend. That's what the season comes down to. So the Yankees need to put together some wins. Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, Jazz is starting to look a little bit good. So these guys are going to get good reps. Let's get momentum going. What the Yankees have not been able to do, I told you before, tread water, cinder block, head, drowned, right? So if they have a team like the Twins, who they've historically beat up on, if they can get right against these guys and they can start getting on the right track, this team can be dangerous. I know all these statements are going to come back to bite me in the ass, but I'm trying to be positive, and let's get a little glimmer of hope. We got to win tonight in the Bronx. Let's go, because you've only seen me pissed. When the Yankees are going good, I'm a very happy guy also. And make me happy, please, if you can. Go and like, and please subscribe to this show. We've been getting a shitload of views, a shitload of subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate the support, and the comments have been so sweet and endearing. I really appreciate it. I love doing this. I love doing this show for you guys every night after the game. We're going to be having NFL, wall-to-wall, NFL season, Knicks when they come up, baseball, hopefully the playoff baseball. Let's go, Yanks. Let's go, Yanks! It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. And remember, if you can't be good, baby, be bad. Bye.